American doesn't mean half and half. African American means we are Africans with American citizenship. You see, it's different to know what your blood is as opposed to what your legal status is based upon these European designations, right? I can't say I'm African when I go to the consulate, right? I'm a citizen of the United States of America. It's a corporation. You got to understand that the United States of America is not a country. It is not a country. It is a corporation. Go look this up. I think statute 5A-1. It's a corporation. So when we say American, we're talking about our corporate designation, what it says on our passport. So when we go to the embassy or the consulate, we know this person's coming from the corporation of America. The African part is talking about our lineage, our bloodline. So to designate and say, look, we are not legally African, but our lineage is African, which is why we have to append African American so people understand the difference between us and a native African. If you go look at a brother by the name of Marshawn Lynch, he's a NFL football player. You familiar with that name?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Marshawn Lynch, in an interview one day, a black man asked him a question. He said, "What's good, my African?" He doesn't refer to us as blacks or African Americans. He refers to all of us as Africans. If you look at Marshawn Lynch, the media used to vilify him. They used to, when you look at the Super Bowl, Marshawn Lynch, I don't know what you guys know about American football, but they were at the goal line, means they have to go 1 yard, which is approximately, I think, 3 meters, to get to the end zone to score the winning touchdown to win the game. This is Marshawn Lynch's specialty. Short yardage plays. You know what they did?
Yeah.
They gave the ball to the mulatto kid. The mulatto kid threw an interception and they lost the game. And everybody in the world was asking themselves, why didn't you give the ball to Marshawn Lynch when he specializes in short yardage downs? Because they didn't want an African and an outspoken African to win the game, because that would give us too much power. Now, what you'll see in America is they'll push certain black faces up, and those black faces have been mentally integrated. They don't think they're Africans. They think they are Americans, so to speak, right? They want to be Americans. They love America. But anybody who has an African consciousness, whether they are on the left or the right, you will not see them in the media. They hide people like us. They don't want you to know. What's that?
Dangerous people, right?
We're a danger. We'll actually wake people up and tell and show them who we are. And that's what they don't want. They don't want people understanding who we are and understand the dynamics of history and the people that we are.
So yeah, it's very powerful, man. And what I want from this conversation is actually for us here in Mozambique to understand better ourselves as Africans, and to people in South Africa, in Nigeria, in Ghana, Botswana, all over Africa, to really think about our history, our backgrounds, our legacy, and our richness, and to be proud of who we are and who we were, and to own it, and to be a part and to live up to that standard.
Can I ask you a question? Are you familiar with the Zulu? Are you familiar with the Zulu?
Yeah, yes, I am.
How many different Zulu groups are there?
Man, a lot. So Africa is artificially divided, as you know, in countries.
Yeah.
So,
there are 13. Last time I checked, there are 13 Zulu tribes.
Yeah.
And they argue with each other, right?
Yeah, they do.
They war with each other, right?
Yeah.
Now, wasn't it the Zulu tribe that was kicking the white man's ass?
It was indeed.
Okay, so this is the same thing they do in America. In America, we have this thing called Bloods and Crips. Now, blood stands for brotherly love overrides oppression and destruction. Does that sound like a destructive gang to you, or does it sound like a loving gang?
A loving gang, man.
Okay.
Yeah, loving name.
Right. So what these alphabet organizations in America do, right? These ABC organizations, what they'll do is they'll get a black man to pose as a blood, go into Crip territory and kill him, then have somebody pose as a Crip and kill a blood, and you start this war. The Zulu tribe is no different. You can't defeat, they couldn't defeat the Zulu tribe, so they had to figure out, how do we divide the Zulu tribe up? And 13 is a number that these elites like to work under. 13 is the number of Da'ath under Kabbalah, and these people are operating under the power of Kabbalah. So they divided the Zulus up into 13 tribes. They took Africa and they carved it up like a Thanksgiving turkey. In Africa, we speak thousands of languages, right? And one group of people looks at the next group of people like they're better than them, right?
Yeah.
If in Nigeria, you got the Zosa, you got the help me out.
I can talk to you about Mozambique. So we have more than 20 languages just in Mozambique.
Yeah. And so these groups are always arguing, you know, your jollof rice is better than mine. I mean, my jollof rice is better than yours. My rice is better than yours. So we arguing over the most stupid things ever. We got to understand is the European put that there. The European divided us up because the European is a minority on this planet. And what do they call black people in America? Minorities. But when we look at the population across the earth, there are more Chinese people than white people. There are more black people than white people. There are more Africans than white people. White people are a minority on this planet. And the only way a minority can defeat another army is to get the army to defeat itself. And that's what Africans are doing today. We are defeating ourselves. We have to drop. I'm not saying drop your languages, enjoy your languages. I think it's an advantage to have these languages, but understand that you are all one people. And until you unite as one people and say, hey, look, my rice tastes different from yours. It's not about whose is better. It's just different. So let's come together and let's blend these cultures and share these cultures. And you enjoy my rice and I'll enjoy your rice. But it's not who's better and my dance is better than yours and your dance is better, and you act like this and you act like that. No, everybody's different. As individuals, there are no two individuals on earth that are alike. So it is not to say that you have to be alike, but you have to understand Igbo. Thank you. Yoruba, Hausa. Yes, thank you. Igbo was the one I was trying to think of. I got an Igbo kid on my soccer team here. I coach soccer. But we have to understand that it's fine to be different, but that difference is what created the wars. It created the tribal warfare that we see happening in many places in Africa that is perpetuated by the Arab and it's perpetuated by the European. In fact, the goddamn Arabs are actually Europeans, but that's another story for another day. You see how fair-skinned they are, many of them. But the moral of the story is, even here in America, what we're trying to do is unite black people. Right, we're trying to unite the African American. We're trying to. There's many African Americans who know they love Africans, and there's some Africans that love African Americans. Some of y'all love our culture. Some of y'all love our music. We have to understand that that is your culture. It's not our culture. That's your culture, and your culture is our culture. Without the drum being invented in Africa, there is no rap music. And rap music's all about that drum, right? We have to understand that rap music was created by a Jamaican. It wasn't created by an African American. It was created by a Jamaican in America, in New York. I think his name was Kool Herc, if I'm not mistaken. Started from the DJ, but that comes from reggae music. And reggae music is another form of African music. We're all the same people with slight differences. I need my Africans to look at each other and say, I'm your brother and I'm your sister. And what you'll see is, especially on social media, you'll see some blacks making fun of Africans, and you see some Africans making fun of some African Americans. And again, that's that mentality that's put in them by the European. But that's not, you know, when I went to Africa, I was in Tanzania, I was in a meeting, and the African said to me, he said, welcome home. And I smiled and I said, thank you. I appreciate that. So he saw me as an African. He didn't see me as separate. And this was an educated man.